back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to do a video on foundations. Now this video has been requested for ages and it's taken me so long to record this video because I actually tried all the foundations like in depth, like over a number of days, so that I can really give you a really honest and quite an in-depth full review of these different foundations that I've tried. So I chose 3 high-end foundations, namely they were the Genius Gel by Marc Jacobs, the Veil Foundation by Hourglass, and the new Dior Skin Air Foundation by Dior. I've tried all 3 over a number of days. This is quite a real video. This is not a first impressions video. I really hope you enjoy. Finding and choosing the most perfect foundation for you can be almost as challenging as finding like the perfect pair of jeans, or in my case, like the perfect pair of leggings. But what you need to do is have a little think about what it is that you want out of our foundation, so that when you're trying the foundation, you know exactly if it suits your needs or not. Now, I have an oilier skin, and I wanted a foundation that was good for the daytime. So I wanted something that was lightweight, easy to apply, that was quite long wearing, and that most importantly really looked like skin. I wanted my skin just to look a little bit more perfect, not like totally flawless airbrushed, but a little bit more perfect and something that was super natural and still felt beautiful on the skin. It also had to have more of a matte finish because I have like super oily skin. Out of the 3 foundations that I tried, one of them came out a winner, and it's a great foundation. So continue watching if you want to see which one came out on top. So the first foundation that I tried was the Hourglass Veil Foundation. Now this retailed for the most amount of all 3 foundations at a whopping $70. I think that's quite expensive for a foundation. The colour that I tried was a number 2 in light medium. Now looking at what they say about Hourglass on the Hourglass site, what they said it is a veil foundation. It contains an SPF of 15, it has luminous long-lasting coverage, and it also contains ingredients which help to promote the collagen production in your skin, and it's vegan and oil-free. Now personally, I love the idea that it's vegan and oil-free. I don't know, that kind of pulls me, that gives a little tug to my heart, so I like that. So I tried it for a few days, and as you can kind of see from the video, that's me applying it. And how I felt about it, I have to kind of like write notes as I've tried it, just so I remember, is that when I applied it, because I applied it using a kabuki brush, I did feel that when you put it on, it kind of sticks to the skin more. So it has an instant kind of like stickiness, which the other 2 foundations had a more of a gliding sensation onto the skin. So this one kind of like stuck more to the skin. I did find that on the positive side of things, that my skin did look like skin at the end of it. It still really looked like very natural skin. It did cover my imperfections, and it had very much like a skin matte finish. So all of those things were great. It did wear throughout the day. I think I got maybe about 8-9 hours of it looking, you know, quite decent. So that's a very positive thing. So on to the areas that weren't so great about this foundation. Now, I found it really challenging finding the right colour. I have to say that when I went to Sephora to get the samples, I found it really difficult actually choosing a colour for me. Now, I haven't got an unusual skin tone, and so there really should have been something for me. Their range of foundations seems to be kind of like all over the place. Some are in more of a pink undertone, some are more in a yellow undertone, and there's no consistency, I believe, in the line. So for me, I'd have to say that I think the colours may need to be revisited. On my second point, I would say that some of the foundation actually collected in my forehead, especially around here in my pores, and I had to work quite hard with a brush to actually really try and make sure that the foundation was blended fully in my forehead, just around this area here. So for that, for me, I have to say it wasn't great. I think for $70, which I do think is quite expensive for a foundation, I kind of expected more out of $70. It did last, it did make my skin look like skin, but there were just better foundations, I believe. So unfortunately, the Hourglass foundation actually ranked number 3 in my foundation review. I really had high hopes for this foundation actually, probably high, I had more expectation unfortunately from what I got from it, but it's the truth. Anyway, let's move on to number 2. So in second place was the Marc Jacobs foundation. So I had really high hopes for this foundation, even higher hopes than I had for the Hourglass foundation, because I'd heard so much about it and so many good reviews about it. I do think this is a good foundation, but unfortunately it's not the top one. So I tried the Genius Gel, it was number 34, and I tried it quite a few times. I mean, I probably wore it, I'd say, for maybe at least 5 or 6 days. Now it retails at $58, And having a look on the website, it says that it is an oil-free foundation, so that's a plus point. Ding! It's meant to be long wearing, has anti-aging ingredients, it's meant to add radiance, clarity, it's meant to create a weightless natural veil, and it's also not meant to settle into fine lines. It's supposed to have a very even application because of the soft focus powders that it contains. So my review of the foundation is that it is very much like a gel. As the name would suggest, it really is like a gel consistency. It's a nice consistency, I like it, it's not bad. And I applied it using a kabuki brush, as you can see from the video. And I felt that honestly, it really wasn't as good as expected. Again, not really worth $58. Sorry, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, but I really like it, and that's great, and if it works for you, then wonderful, I'm really happy for you. But for me, unfortunately, it wasn't everything that I wanted it to be. So my number one kind of dig with it was that it only kind of really looked good for about 6 hours. I mean, what's going on with that? I mean, 6 hours, really? I just kind of felt that I wanted something that was gonna last a little bit longer than 6 hours. And it kind of looked like it just, I don't know what happened to it. It's like it kind of evaporates after 6 hours. I don't know. And my second dig, which kind of is equal on par to my first dig about the foundation, is that it really left little bits on my skin, all over my skin. Now, I know I have someone who's very close to me, my sister-in-law, who wears this foundation and swears by it and says that it's great. And so after comparing lots of notes, I was thinking, well, this is another reason why I tried it for so many days, was maybe I'm not doing something properly. I was like, how come she loves it, but I don't? Right? So I asked her. Now she actually applies hers with the beauty blender, whereas I applied mine with a kabuki brush. Now I can say absolutely guaranteed, with or without primer, underneath the foundation, that it left particles on my skin, because I tried it on numerous different days, and every single time, whether I had the primer or I didn't have the primer, it had tiny, I mean they're very, very small little bits of foundation which kind of like had balled up and like were left on the surface of my skin. And so I kind of was like dusting it off afterwards. So I could only assume that obviously by applying it with the beauty blender that maybe you'll get a different finish. I can say if you're going to do it with the kabuki brush, unfortunately it's probably not going to be the best foundation. I felt that it did, on the plus side though, make my skin look like real skin, so that's great. It had a natural matte finish to it, and my skin did look like skin, so it definitely was very, very weightless. So I believe that their claim of it being weightless is very, very true, and it was nice. I'm gonna give it a nice. So out of 10, if I was to rate it, I'd probably give it maybe about a 6 or a 7. But I'm not looking for 6 or 7, I'm looking for 10. So what came on top is the Dior Serum foundation. And oh my word, this foundation is hot. Wow, I was totally blown away. Now maybe it's because I went into it without any expectations, but this foundation is wonderful. I was excited to try it, I was excited to recommend it. So I have, as you can see from the video, this is obviously me trying the foundation, and it was lovely. I mean, it has the most beautiful scent to it. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. I love it. It smells like expensive perfume. And I like that scent. I like when I put a foundation on that it smells that way. It is long wearing. I find that it lasts all day. It's slightly transfer kind of proof as such, because it does actually not come off on all my baby's clothes when I hold her. So she becomes like a napkin in her baby onesie, baby grow. What else does it do? It makes my skin look like skin, and when you put it on, it's like this liquid, it's weightless, it's like serum, but like foundation serum. It's gorgeous. It's very, very liquidy, and you almost think when you actually see it, there's no way that this can actually cover any imperfections on my skin, but it does, and it's gorgeous. I have to say, I absolutely love it. So I've tried 2 colours in it as well. Both colours were actually quite good, and the colour that I'm actually wearing today is number 30. Now I have to say, Dior probably isn't my first choice of foundations in terms of a brand. It's not somewhere that I generally go to and actually look for foundations, especially because I always felt they never actually really covered foundations for all skin tones. Now this is a really big thing to me, which is like really, really dear and really, really true to my heart, is why on earth, and I have to say, I repeat, why on earth in this day and age, not all brands actually cater to all skin tones is unbelievable. Now, I really want to swear, but I won't. Keep calm, keep calm, keep calm, and I'm back. But why do some brands just not offer foundations for certain skin tones? And it's outrageous. I mean, I'm sorry, is it only white people that live in this world? Oh, hell no, there isn't. And so therefore, I don't understand why brands, why cosmetic brands, not all cosmetic brands, take responsibility in making sure that they're actually providing products for all skin tones. Okay, granted, you're gonna have some people that are gonna say, well, actually my brand is not really meant to be for dark skins. And by reverse, you can also say that maybe some black brands, like for example, Iman or Fashion Fair or whatever else, you know, only cater towards black skins. Fair enough. And that's what I love about some brands, for example, like MAC. I know this is slightly, I'm on a tangent, but I'm gonna go with it anyway. You know, brands like MAC do cater for different tones within darker skins. And I feel that some brands really ought to make more of an effort to make sure they do. Now that's one of the reasons probably why I don't really go to Dior to find foundations. I've always felt that maybe they don't actually really cater for darker skins, and there's certain brands, for example, there's a YSL foundation that I'm currently using that drives me nuts. I have no idea why they don't offer foundations for darker skins. And you know, it seems that the only brands that do offer foundations for darker skins are ones that you really have to pay some serious cash for. I have to say, what is going on with the lack of, you know, dark skin tones on the high streets? I mean, it's WTF, WTF. Anyway, back to my Dior. And we're bringing it back. Yep, and we're there. So, in their darker skin ranges, they really didn't have that much. I have to say that. They didn't really have a wide range of dark skin tones. And while I was trying out these foundations, my sister-in-law and niece came to visit me. And I took them to Sephora because naturally when people come to see me, they're like, oh, Mika, let's go makeup shopping. And I'm like, yay! There's people that I know that want to go makeup shopping with me, and that's wonderful. So I took the makeup shopping, went to Sephora, and I was showing her the Dior foundation, and she was like, oh, they won't have a skin tone that's right for me. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let's have a try and let's get a sample, because you know how I feel about samples. So we got a sample and it was amazing. I can tell you right now that she has bought the foundation and she wears it every day and she loves it. Now, prior to this, she has been wearing the Lancome liquid foundation, Laura Mercier primer, and NARS foundation, okay? And all three of them she has worn, and she kind of repeats and comes back to time and time again. And this one has become her #1 foundation, and I think she's probably going to buy a new bottle, in fact, as soon as she runs out of this one. And so this is the video that's, as you can see next to me now, that's her, what she looks like in the foundation. I didn't actually take any video of her actually putting it on or me putting it on for her, but I know that she absolutely loves it. And now she normally wears about an NW45, let's say, in MAC, so for all you Maccabees out there, then that will be the kind of equivalent colour. It's just a beautiful foundation, I have to say. My only little pet peeve of it is probably the kind of applicator, which is the kind of dripper thing. What are you supposed to do? Like drip it? Drip, 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 drip. I don't know. But I know for me what I do is kind of like swipe it on my face and then use my brush to kind of blend it in. I don't really get the dripper thing. It doesn't particularly appeal to me, but that's my pet peeve. If that's the only thing that's wrong with the foundation, then I'm gonna overlook that and it comes out a winner. So yay! Might I also say this is actually the cheapest foundation of all three that I tried. It retails at $53, plus obviously the VAT and whatever else. For me, it was an absolute winner. I'm so happy that I tried it, and I now have another new foundation to go and rebuy once I finish this bottle. So, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, go on, do it, you know you want it. And I will see everyone really soon. Have a great week. Bye.